Hey, so here's a simple question for you as I'm sitting in my car in my kids' school parking lot waiting for them to get out. Do you want what you have? Next on the Metal Pulpit. So my car that I'm in, it's a Buick Lucerne. I mean, this is the big dog Buick and has everything power, everything leather, heated seats, air-conditioned seats. It's the CXS version, so there's a sunroof, and it has a North Star Cadillac V8 in here. You know, here's the thing about this car. It looks very pastoralish. It's white even with chrome wheels. But back in the day, it was probably worth a lot. But it's a 2006 and it has 215,000 miles on it. At the end of the day, a Buick is a General Motors. Now here in the States, mechanics call that a generic Motors, GM. And I got this car literally from a retired pastor. I could say, here's the money, thank you for the car. Because, you know, we finance my wife's car because she commutes almost an hour and a half round trip each day. And our other debt is our house. But in life, the question remains, do you want what you have? Take a look around you. Your house, your apartment, if you're still with your parents or whatever, depending on your age, do you want what you have? I am a firm believer at any social class, because I've been at the bottom two, poverty and blue collar. Do you want what you have? And I've learned that you can be rich at any level. You know, if you're living within your means and you're enjoying life, you're rich. You're a rich person. I don't care if you're living in an apartment, a duplex, you own or you rent. If you're happy with where you're at, you are a rich person. I mean, think about those words that Paul said in Philippians. I've learned to be content in all things. You know, your contentment will drive people crazy, almost to the point where it's hurtful because you're content. They look at a car like this, 215,000 miles. That car should be dead by then. Well, perhaps if you don't take care of it, but yeah, it's getting towards the end of its life. But at the same time, I don't have a car payment. Oh, I was so tempted to finance another car while I had this, and I don't see sense in it. I just don't want to. And take, for instance, my camper. A couple years ago, bought a camper from a family at church. Oh, it's a smaller one, but it's one that you drive. It's a 1985, and we call it Cousin Eddie, based off the Vacation movie with Chevy Chase and Cousin Eddie. And, you know, to the vintage camper crowd, they love it. To the people that have the bigger campers, the newer campers, they hate it, okay? In fact, I'm oftentimes asked, when are you going to buy a bigger camper? When are you going to buy a camper? And, there'll come a day where, you know, we're going to need something a little bigger. But to ask me that, I mean, where are the social graces? Where, you know, because quite honestly, on average, and looking at my friends and other people that buy campers, on average, about $10,000 to $12,000 for a camper. And here's the thing, they only keep them for about 5, 6, 7 years. Now, when you do the math and you figure, okay, I'll go camping maybe 5 or 6 times this year, break that down, 5 payments or 6 times that you're going to go out with this camper in a year over the span of about 6 years, your camping trips are very, very expensive. If you do a $10,000 camper and you go 6 times a year, it's about a extra $140 on top of your camping bill to do this. And quite honestly, not too many people keep their campers for 10 years because they're not content. And so, you know, learn to be content. Even in my own, as a pastor, I haven't taken a raise from the church I pastor since probably 2009. And, you know, my wife works and I do freelance stuff, and God takes care of us. The whole home issue that Americans have in their mentality, a starter home, that was a foreign concept to my parents or even the generation before them. There's no such thing as a starter home. It was your home, and this is where you stayed until, you know, the Lord moved you, or, you know, something like that. And so, but now you get couples that they get married and instantly go into this huge house, which means huge debt, and they're living just to get by. And, you know, the same goes for cars, same goes for campers. As that I'm sad to say that the bank I shop at, they advertise regularly where they say, do you need an equity loan? Do you need that TV? Do you need that camper? Do you need that boat? I'm thinking, what in the world? Who would do that? Why would you stretch yourself so thin in order to have something for entertainment? This is a foreign concept to me. Happens in churches as well. When we have a guest speaker in that's familiar with Europe or from the European area, they look at our church and they think, this is awesome what you have going on here. You see, the church I pastor, the only debt we have, and even Dave Ramsey would say this is good debt, is $800 a month. That's it. That's the only debt we carry. But when we bring in an evangelist or any other speaker from the States, inevitably over lunch or dinner, the question is asked, so when are you going to expand? When are you going to build? I have learned to be content in all things. And the key word is learned. I've been down that path before of wanting, and going into debt and all of that stuff. And it's just not appealing. I'd rather have a camper that I can just go out with the kids and wife and enjoy a night. It might be a little cramped, but, you know, looking back, we used to tent it all the time. So this is actually quite the step up. And, you know, be content. So there's my challenge to you. Are you content? And the bigger question for you, do you want what you have? Shoot me your thoughts, questions, PastorBobAdams@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day.